All right, Dan Camarillo here. I'm sitting here with a good friend. His name's Spencer. And Spencer, you train out of Sektor, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And you own your own academy.
Yes, I opened up a second Sektor school pretty close to our HQ location. I'm about 20 minutes away in Corona, California.
Corona. So Sean Roberts is the owner, the creator of Sektor. And his is, where's his at again?
Chino.
Chino, that's right, Chino. And his facility is amazing, huh? It kind of makes mine look small.
And you have a very big facility.
It's a nice place. Sean and I go way back, way back. Spencer and I are a little bit newer friends, you know, and I just thought thanks for coming in first, you know, rolling today. And I just thought I would ask you a few questions, like how did you get started in jiu-jitsu? What made you want jiu-jitsu out of anything else? So.
I wanted some form of martial art. I was the smallest of all of my brothers, and they all beat me up. So I always felt small, meek, weak. So I became very charismatic and learned how to be funny, but always in the back of my head I had insecurities because I knew I'm friends with everybody, I laugh with everybody because I know like if I ever get in a fight, I'm probably gonna get beat up. So I searched around for with a few different martial arts. I had a very sad experience with karate. I learned the hard way that it's not real, that it didn't work for me. But after trying a few different arts, I tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that was the first time I got my hands on something where I felt like, okay, I can do this, and if I get good enough, I will be able to defend myself against somebody bigger and stronger than me.
Oh, nice, nice. So you got me curious, man, what happened to that karate incident?
So I was doing karate for a little bit. I learned some moves. I was feeling pretty good. And just being a stupid young kid, I think maybe I was like 16, 17 years old. I was at a house party with a bunch of rowdy kids, and people were talking about how, you know, badass they were and whatnot. And I got to talking too about how I train martial arts, and we started boasting back and forth, and I was like, okay, man, just go ahead, just try to hit me, just try to hit me. So he threw a punch, and I did my karate move, perfect timing, perfect everything. I fan blocked, and I connected with the fist, and the fist really didn't care, and it just kept coming at me and just popped me square in the face, bloody nose, super embarrassed in front of everybody, and I was like, karate sucks. I did it right, and it didn't work.
So you could say no girls' phone numbers, huh?
No, not that night. Absolutely not.
Man, I had a little similar, you know, when you open your mouth, you know, I was only doing judo and I was never taught how to use it, you know what I mean? And yeah, same kind of incident. You open your mouth and then someone calls you out and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta perform, you know?
Yeah.
That's a cool story. So who did you start under? Was it Sean?
No. So when I started jiu-jitsu, Sean was training with Half already. So I went from white to black under Gabriel Costa, who was basically the head instructor at the Chino gym back when we were a Half Gracie school. He was the head instructor and kept Sean's family business going while Sean completed his education up in San Francisco.
Okay.
So Sean would drop in. He was already a purple belt when I started training. So I saw Sean every single time he came and visited home. Of course, he was coming in and teaching classes and hanging out with us. So we kind of hit a good like friendship pretty early on, and he's always been able to help me and guide me and you know, help me along my journey. But Gabriel Costa is the guy, and he was the head ref for IBJJF for like 10 years or something like that.
So after Sean, I'm just trying to get a timeline here. So after Sean opened his place, is that when you opened yours, or how did you end up with your own location?
It was, let's see, I believe Sean came home and we started the Sektor brand in 2016, and I opened my academy in 2019.
2019. And Sektor has to do with Mortal Kombat.
Yes. So if anybody knows Sean, he's a super nerd when it comes to that game. He competes. He's very, very good at it.
He competed in the big Las Vegas Mortal Kombat tournament, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when he told me he was going to do that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got a lot of funny hobbies.
So you've competed, right? Now, what is your most memorable match you've ever had?
It was at Purple Belt. It was with a guy I'm buddies with now. I see him all the time at tournaments. His name's Juan de la Cruz. Yeah, he probably doesn't know this, but that name is kind of fun in my household because every single time I'm like, he's my nemesis, Juan de la Cruz, and I make a big deal out of it.
Right.
But that was my favorite match because I trained really, really hard for that tournament. I trained with my buddy who teaches at my gym, Andrew. Him and I got together and we drilled a lot of extra moves. And I said in my match, or I said leading up to the tournament, I don't care if I win or lose. This is my first purple belt tournament. All I want to do is hit one of the 3 moves that I've been working. And in that first match, right out the gate, that match was such a crazy back and forth. I hit all 3 of my moves in that one match.
Nice.
Yeah, and I ended up losing by like 2 points. But it was a really high scoring match, and it was just constant back and forth.
You were completely satisfied because those were the moves you were practicing and it worked.
Yeah. And it was my first time competing as a purple belt, so I just wanted to go and give a good match, and that was probably the best match I've ever had. It was just so much fun.
So talking about purple, what's the scariest belt you've ever had? So we both competed like a while, right? So I have a certain belt that I was worried. I was like, oh, crap, I'm getting this belt and I'm going to compete. I'm like, what was yours?
Honestly, I think it's black belt.
Black?
Yeah, I think just because I can now enter a tournament, I haven't even competed as a black yet. And just the fact that if I go and I compete as a black belt, I can go against another black belt who's been a black belt as long as I've been training.
For a long time, right?
Yeah. So.
Especially when you're in that 18 to 30, under 30-year-old range. That's a huge jump.
Right.
And they could be black for the whole time, and then you're just getting yours and getting in there. So
Yeah.
Mine was purple. Mine was purple, but back in the day when I was started, there was hardly any black belts. And when you got your purple, you're like in a different league. You're like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
You're in the high ranks now.
Right. It was scary for me.
How did you do with transitioning and growing into your purple belt?
Well, okay, so I was really good at Toriando passing. And when you get to purple belt level, it just doesn't work as easy at all. I'm sorry to say, I know there's a lot of people out there who do a lot of Toriando, and you're good at it. I had speed, agility. I was really fast at it. But when you reach a certain level, you have to have a lot more passing. So when I got into purple belt level, I just started concentrating on my passing, and now I think my passing is pretty good. So
I'd say so.
Oh, thank you. So going back to owning an academy, you've owned it how long now? You said 2019?
Yeah, so that's about 5 years.
5 years. What was the hardest thing to deal with?
Imposter syndrome. So at some point, I had students of my own now, and I questioned, like, well, who are you to start teaching? You know, what makes you an authority? Just kind of second guessing everything. Being so new at it, I guess it's like first time parents, right? You're so worried about messing up and being a bad parent.
Right.
You tend to just overthink everything, and
That's why I won't ref.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to ref.
That's a high pressure job.
Yeah, I don't want parents yelling at me.
Yeah, I always try to take it easy on refs, you know, as long as they kind of treat me with any bit of respect, like, hey, what happened? Oh, okay, you know, I totally get it. I try not to give them too hard of a time because personally, I would never want to ref.
Yep, me neither. You have a lot of kids at your academy?
I have a ton of kids.
Ton of kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents.
Yes.
Parents hard to deal with?
Some are.
Some are.
Yeah, I noticed that mostly, I would say like 90%.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then there's just a few that are very, very difficult to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. Yeah, I think we've been lucky. You know, we have. I don't think we have as many kids as you do. We have a lot of adults. Our academy is a little reversed. You know, a lot of people, they tell me, "Oh, you rely on your kids to pay the bills." No, we have a lot of adults, but yeah, we've been lucky with the parents. Our parents are all pretty close to each other and stuff like that. So, but with a lot of kids, I would figure you'd have a few tough parents.
Yes.
And they always want, like, pay attention to my kid, and then you got like 40 kids on the mat. It's like tough.
Yes, exactly. You know, sometimes parents feel like their kids don't get enough recognition, and it's hard because you can't play favorites. Sometimes you're going to have to give extra attention to the kid who really needs it, who's struggling to keep up. It's hard. Every single day is its own sort of mixture in the environment. Some kids that are extra good might be paired up with a kid who's kind of, you know, been at it for a little bit. They're going to be self-sufficient. They're going to be fine. I don't need to pay as much attention. However, sometimes there'll be some advanced kids who you got to throw them a bone and give them extra details and extra things. And I think I've kind of grown into my own as an instructor, but that's still something that I struggle with, is trying to make sure that everybody under my wing is getting enough attention. You know, so sometimes you're going to sleep at night and you'll think of, oh my gosh, I need to start giving Trevor a little more attention. I haven't helped him out in a little bit.
I do know this, and I'm going to give a little bit of help out there for those. If your child is trying hard, we're automatically going to notice it. They're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And then they may get that extra attention. Or what happens, though, is if they're trying hard, they're automatically going to become good, you know, better than they were. And those rewards come, wouldn't you say? So let's go on to this. Let's go on to last couple of questions. If you knew someone who was starting an academy, they've never ran anything, you know what I'm saying? They're starting right now. What advice would you give them?
Lean on your support, and don't be afraid to ask your friends, your training partners, anybody, any resource that you have to just come in and help out. I think the most important thing when you're first starting is populating the gym. Get your friends to come in and breathe life into it, because it's a little hard to, I guess, sell yourself when it's one person on the mat and you're like, no, I promise you, I'm really legit. I'm really good at this. Let me show you some jiu-jitsu moves. There's a weird feeling of like, does this person think I'm a charlatan? But if you have a populated mat, a bunch of your friends that are higher ranks are coming in to train with you, people will come in and say, oh, this guy's legit. He has a lot of people supporting him. He must be good. If other people are highly opinionated of him. Right.
Yeah, owning one of these isn't easy. It's not easy. People think that automatically you're gonna make a lot of money. You're not.
No,
and I honestly, when you first start out, wouldn't put earning money as my priority, because you need to pay attention to everybody on the mat, and then it'll grow.
Absolutely.
That's what I think. It just grows faster when you naturally put the effort into your students like you should.
Yeah, be prepared for a dry few seasons, couple years of just no money.
Yeah, be there all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Are you going to compete anytime soon, or what? What you got coming up?
I'm constantly feeling the tug to do it. I think it's just a matter of signing up for one. I know NABJJF does free black belt tuition, so I think I'm just going to sign up for one, just register, throw myself in there. If I'm out of shape, if I'm not in shape, it doesn't matter. Just like, I just need to jump back into the pool again. So it's just one of those things of like, throw yourself in and then get your data and then figure it out.
So, I honestly, so my advice, so I took 9 years off, and then I went to Worlds last year, right? 3 months before is when I decided. So in those 3 months, I went to 3 tournaments, and I was completely out of shape. What I did was signing up actually motivated me to train. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think by the time it comes, like if you just sign up and you take the comp seriously, you're going to be ready, because you're just going to start going into comp mode. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that, okay, because you're an instructor and a gym owner, do you become selfish? Like if you go to sign up for a tournament, do you become selfish?
I was just about to ask you your advice on the subject, because I'm a very giving instructor. I'm always letting people get stuff on me, or throwing myself in a position I normally wouldn't be in, because I know that person needs to develop that position. So I wanted to ask you your opinion on that. How do you train for a tournament?
I become a little selfish. I have to. But what's awesome is we have such a great group of instructors. You know, there's good people here, and they cover. If I feel like, hey man, I'm not going to come in until adult class today. I'm not going to do kids. I'm not going to help with the toddlers. I'm going to come in, and I don't want to think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the best
exactly.
thing is when you come in, you don't have to think, and you got somebody else yelling at you or running class. So that's what I did off and on for those 3 months. You know what I mean? It helped a lot.
Okay.
No extra pressure. You already got the tournament pressure on your back. Now you have no extra pressure. You go into your classes, you're just rolling and drilling and concentrating on yourself.
Yeah, and
But-
you felt confident with taking that step back? Because I'm still a little bit of a control freak with my academy. I think maybe because it's so new, I feel like I still have to be there for...
I completely understand, and yeah, I've been open 22 years now. So we have, like I said, sometimes our instructors are all the way across the mat. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got 10, 11 instructors. So I do have people I can lean on, and they've been rolling forever, right? So I'm not worried about them helping or if they're going to teach and stuff like that. You know what I do is I make them teach. I'll go, you know what, you're teaching today, and I see how they do, and then I help them. Yeah, you got to get them into that comfortable position when they're up there teaching, and then make sure they're teaching it right. You know what makes you a better competitor and a better technician is you understand and can explain the move
absolutely.
piece by piece, like what's happening, not just do by the book. You're
Right.
understanding leverage. You're understanding how
What
the
does
body
each
works.
step do?
You understand the reaction, and then you're able to transfer that into somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, hey, I want to thank you for coming in, dude.
Thank you for
Seriously.
always having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for rolling with me today, and come back anytime, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me know next time you're in town. Drop in.
Oh, over there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm super close to Sean, so.
Yeah, man,
throw my guys
I need to get up there.
Yeah,
I need to get
be
up there.
fun.
I love Sean. I love his family. Great group of people. Amazing academy. I need to see yours.
Yeah,
All right,
I'd love
buddy.
to have you.
All right, man. Thank you.